What's up, good people out there, and welcome to another edition of Field Vision, the Super Bowl edition, Super Bowl 48. I'm one of your hosts, Devin McMillan, and I'm here with my brothers at the round table. I got B. Austin of War Room Sports.
Yo, shout out to Atlanta Love, 3.5 inches deep. Now, is that the porn star or is that the city?
I got my man Frank Santos, Sports Kings.
Yo, go to sports-kings.com to 50 cc's of Vicodin in my writing pen.
Sports Kings, they are the other producers of this show. So shout out to everybody over at Sports Kings. We got Fred Perdue, heavy in the games.
You know, they say Atlanta's soft nose. I don't know if Syracuse wants to really keep saying that.
We got fired. Jimmy, the Blueprint Williams, War Room Sports.
Beloved, what's up, y'all? Let's talk about this Super Bowl.
All right, well, let's talk about them. All right, look, Super Bowl 48 is here. You know, the 2-week build-up. A lot of people think that, you know, the 2-week build-up should be trimmed down a little bit. And one of the main things that we've been hearing about lately is Media Day, because the big story at Media Day was Marshawn Lynch not really talking but doing enough to satisfy his obligations so he won't be fined. We already know that he doesn't like to talk to the media. He was fined $50,000 throughout the season for not talking to the media. Somehow he got out of that, though, but that's another story. Fellas, Media Day, do you think it's necessary, or do you think it's something we should do away with?
I'm just about that action, boss. Smooth.
I'll start this one off. I really think it's necessary, not necessarily for the players, but more so for the fans and the people like myself who cover the game, that actually want to ask these players questions, not the stupid questions of how long have you been a black athlete or a black quarterback, not those kind of stupid questions, but questions about, like Peyton Manning, how long do you think you're going to play, what is the status of you going forward, things like that. When you want important questions that players will actually answer, yes, Media Day is very fun because you get a chance to network with other people within the media, network with coaches and players.
The cliche questions, basically.
The thing to me, I think Media Day sounds good in theory, but when it's turned into a circus. You got like dudes in like Star Wars costumes and like just people that don't need to be there. That's when it becomes ridiculous. Right. If it's just the media, then that's one thing.
When you have women really asking Tom Brady when he was during that time when he was there, would he marry her?
Why are we talking about Tom Brady?
Why you gotta bring up Tom Brady?
It's an example.
Yeah, he had to bring it up.
Some of those
it's ridiculous. It gets ridiculous.
Like, you kind of wonder, like, how do they get in there? I think it has become a circus, but just because of the people they let in. Like you guys said, people coming in costumes. I think if you come to the gate with a costume on, they should immediately turn you around and revoke your credentials. Like, how do you get into the game?
Well, there are no real tickets. It's more so you show up at a center. There are 7,000 fans. It's like any other type of media event. Fans can come in.
No, but to cover it as a media member, you need credentials.
Yes, as a media member, yes, but there is a fan area.
There's a deadline for you to.
Yes, there is
apply
that.
for them.
But fans,
get in there.
The fans.
But there's ways around it too, man. Yo, they let little Terrio in there, man. Had little Terrio dancing with cheerleaders and once you let little Terrio in, you got to stop the whole thing, yo.
I thought last year was the first year they actually allowed fans into Media Day. I thought that was last season.
They've been letting fans in for a while now. It's just mainly when you can't really control 7,000 people and say you can't really get in this because you have this on.
Why not?
No, but you can, Fred. You can do that if 7,000 fans come in just to sit in the stands. Don't let them walk around and ask people questions.
Yeah, I don't agree with that as far as that. But it's the NFL's way of reaching out to the fan. That's what they want. They want the players to interact with the fans. They want the fans to interact with everyone that's there. That's their connection to the fan, and that's what you want.
Yeah, see, what you guys don't realize, though, is that in the words of B. Austin, my man Marshawn Lynch got his hustle down pat. 3 months from now, there's just going to be a Beats by Dre commercial, and he's just going to be like, I'm the man, with all the media around him in Media Day.
And what's he going to say, Frank?
No.
I'm just about that action, boss.
With a bag of Skittles? A bag of Skittles.
With a bag of Skittles, but Skittles got to pay. I wanna say that, very rarely does Fred have a point that's worth really rocking with. But in this particular In this particular case, I have to agree with him. I think that Roger Goodell and those underneath him are all for the shucking and jiving and tomfoolery that goes on. I think they like this shit. Like, I think they want it to continue. I think that it's a gimmick.
Terrio was there though.
Yeah, Lil Terrio was there getting it in. He was smacking asses and trying to get tattoos.
Yo, he's 7 years old though. Like, no.
You're trying to say the antics for the views? Doing the antics for the views?
Views are good.
You want viewership. That's what the NFL wants.
Do for views?
But no, if we break it down, Bielsa, I also agree with Fred. I may not agree with his reasoning for wanting it to stay, but I do think that Media Day is something that's good for the league if you do it the right way.
No. The right way should be credentialed media members asking legitimate questions.
Agreed. And that point, I agree.
Not this bullish that we got going on, but I think the NFL doesn't mind it. I think they like it, so they're going to keep it until someone gets a ratchet.
You have to submit a 5-paragraph essay to get credentials.
And for me, I
would eliminate Lil Terrio.
I don't agree with the fans showing up in costumes, and I can even live with there's a section for fans to ask questions, and you have a certain period of time where they can ask their questions.
But I think the players should be able to decide whether they want to participate in that or not.
Yes,
I should be able to
be obligated to the actual credentialed media.
As my man Marshawn Lynch said, smooth.
I should be able to make a decision of whether or not I want to talk to the dude in the stormtrooper costume. Like that,
Right.
It should be a more professional setting, because anytime I've been to a media day, it's more of a professional setting. The fans, they have to be outside of the building, or there is a day set aside. It's a fan day.
What I'm offering to teams next year is B. Austin media training, and what that will consist of is the ability to laugh at an MFer that gets up in a Star Wars costume. I'll shut media day down because I'll point at you as you're asking the question and say, I'm not answering your bitch ass. Yo, you got a Star Wars costume on. You don't get no trim. You get no with it.
I just asked them, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna clown you. But they don't, they nervous, and some of these dudes don't know how to speak the King's English. They don't have command of the situation, and so it gets out of hand. They're prepared to get up there and give a legitimate answer, and they get ambushed with some dumb-ish.
So they're prepared to go up there and give legitimate
cliches.
And granted, there are fans that may have legitimate questions. There might be fans that have legitimate questions, like Percy Harvin. What is his status for the game? And don't give me he's on our injury list. What do you think? No, I want a real answer, which you're not gonna get. But for the sake of the fans, for the sake of the fans, you give the fans an answer simply for the fact because that's what you want. You want the fan interaction because you're trying to grow the game to the casual fan. The NFL knows that they have us, this whole roundtable, we're hardcore NFL fans. They don't care if you stay or go because you're gonna watch football every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If they did it every day of the week, I'm
not a fan. This is my job.
Yo, but Fred, let me ask you a question: is the casual fan going to media day?
Right. Yes, the casual fan is going to media day.
I don't think so. I disagree with that. I think the real problem is that the media are just vultures, and there's 100 and how many guys are on a football team? 53. Was that 106 guys that you can interview? Why does everybody want to interview Marshawn Lynch if he doesn't feel like answering questions? You got 105 other people you can talk to.
Because that one guy is hoping to get that one scoop.
Because they know the camera's going to be there.
The cameras are going to be there, and they want that one little story that they think.
I agree, though.
And that's the problem. That's the issue.
I think that a good number of casual fans are.
Of the 7,000 that went, I could probably think maybe 2,000 of that is probably casual fans.
I ain't gonna make up no numbers, but
I know where the hell you get that from. How you have 2,000 casual fans? So 2,000 people that are casually fans of the NFL decide I'm going to go to media day.
Fred, be careful with them numbers, brother. I
think we all agree that media day is something that should stick around. We would just all like to see it done a different way. All right, so let's move on to the actual game because that's what people tuned in to hear us talk about.
Things that matter.
We're down to 2. Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos, for all the marbles. Fellas, keys to the game. What does each team need to do to win this game?
Don't all speak at once.
I'll start. Since nobody wants to take this thing over, I guess I'll take it over. Honestly, I really believe that this secondary for the Seahawks is going to get. They're going to get the business. I think Richard Sherman's going to do his part. He's going to take away one half of the field, and Wes Welker's going to get off on Termy Lane in the slot. I think with Demarius Thomas is going to move around on the field because Richard Sherman only covers one half of the field.
Left side.
He's actually on the right side of the field about 80% of the time. And the one thing I have to say about Richard Sherman, he may want to. He's gonna about that. I really believe he's gonna have a chance. Richard Sherman's gonna enjoy it.
You got Justin singing to you when your phone ring, though, for real? I mean, y'all gonna act like he ain't got Justin in the ringtone, though.
Yeah, like we're just gonna let
y'all gonna ignore that. I ain't gonna ignore that.
Andy said, take the clothes off my back.
No, seriously. I think Wes Welker's gonna really have a very good, very peaceful.
Fred, that's your phone, Fred.
Yeah, that was my
phone. Fred, you were smooth with it. I'll give you an A for rolling through it. Training, we can't let that go. That's Drake. That's Drake. You're draking right now.
Wow.
Draking.
Yo, who let Chris Bosh on the show?
I was hoping y'all weren't gonna say anything about it. I was gonna let it go.
No, we can't let that slide.
I think on the other side of the ball, as far as Seattle's offense goes, I mean it's cliche a little bit. You hear it against anybody who plays against the Broncos or who plays against Peyton Manning, you hear it. But this is the team that could pose that threat. They have the running game to kind of control the clock and keep Peyton Manning off the field. I'm not going to say you're going to completely keep him off the field, but they should be able to do a good job of doing that. Now, with the whole cold weather Super Bowl thing, a lot of people would figure since Denver is a cold weather place, I mean, both of these places are cold weather, but Denver is a freezing weather place. A lot of the time, you would think they had the advantage. But I think the Seahawks and the fact that their strengths are the running game and their defense, I think if the forecast on Sunday, if it's freezing outside, I think they have the advantage in that department. Still, I think the weather gets a little overblown sometimes because people kind of harp on that as if it's the number one factor in the game. Bottom line is both teams have to play in it. But if there is a team that could kind of take advantage of any Broncos weaknesses in cold weather or any Peyton Manning weaknesses in cold weather, I think it's Seattle. And
when you speak of the
beast
weather,
mode, he doesn't want to talk. He's going to have to do his talking on the field because they're going to need him.
I really don't see the weather. I think there's a specific piece of the weather that's a factor, and that is the wind. I don't think the cold is a big deal. I don't think the wet. I don't think whether it's rain or any form of precipitation is a huge deal. But if that wind is there, you're talking about a passing attack. Now, the thing that I've noticed with Denver is they definitely take what you give. And so if you're dealing with a serious wind issue and you're dealing with pressure getting there, because I like to give the Seattle front seven, particularly their down four, a lot of props because they get to the quarterback with 4 rushers as opposed to blitzing a lot. Yeah, and so if you're getting pressed, you're going to get rid of the ball. Yeah. And that short passing game isn't as affected by weather. So if you're able to get production in the form of 5 to 10 yard completions, then it's not as big a deal as people are making it seem.
Right. I mean, and the Meadowlands, they've always had the issue with swirling winds at the old stadium. I think this one was designed a little better, and it's not as bad. But you heard some things being said about Eli giving Peyton some pointers on how to throw or where to throw at this part of the stadium, and
that's gonna be hard to do. That's gonna be hard to do.
First off, Eli's probably lying and hating, giving him all the wrong info because he don't want him to catch him.
I will say, and B. Austin, you hit it on the head. That the wind issue. Peyton Manning's ball isn't the most perfect spiral. Yeah. It is a bit wobbly, and you have guys on the outside throwing it up and down those sidelines. I just really don't think when you have guys like that are athletic, like Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor, you have those type of guys. It's going to be hard because those guys are ball hogs.
They are.
Yo,
Fred,
man,
but here's the thing. When we match up across the board, you're talking about Sherman on the outside on one receiver. You're talking about Cam and Earl protecting the middle of the field on the deeper plays. So now you have
Byron Maxwell.
You got Thurman. You got Maxwell. I like the mismatches that can be created when you're talking about Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker, Julius Thomas, Wes Welker, and the fourth receiver Caldwell. He's not a bad option to go.
You got to include Noshawn Marino. They've been including him in the screen game, and that's big for them as well because it's extension of the running game.
Yeah, I think Noshawn Marino is the X factor in the entire game. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to be curious if Denver tries to establish a run against the Seattle defense, or if they're just going to go 5 wide receivers the whole game and just try and spread them out. I have a suspicion that Denver is going to try and establish the run. I think they're a better running team than people give them credit for.
Absolutely.
Because everybody listens to the Omaha, and they get all caught up in Peyton Manning, which they should.
Batman Scoop.
Yeah, Batman Scoop. Yeah, but I definitely think they're going to try to establish the run. And I keep hearing this throughout the week. Everybody keeps saying, well, the Broncos have never seen a defense like this all season. But the Seahawks haven't seen an offense like Peyton Manning's all season.
Yes. All their life. I got a question for you guys. Hold on, Fred. My question for you is, if Denver experiences some success in this game, are you afraid of Seattle's offense and Russell Wilson's ability to sling the ball? Because if I'm Denver, I'm going to sell out to stop the run.
I think if Seattle,
I haven't said anything
if they
yet,
get a deficit early, I think they're in trouble.
I haven't said anything yet. All I'm going to say is, Seattle don't have no chance. Seattle about to get their ass kicked. Let's keep it real, yo. And it has nothing to do with how good their defense is. The defense is good. I mean, they may keep them in the game, but at the end of the day, do I have confidence that Russell Wilson? Now, he may go prove me wrong, Russell.
Yeah,
but over the last couple of weeks, I'm not even talking about just the last game. Over the during the end of the season and going into the playoffs, the bigger the game, the worse he's looked. So,
Russell gonna get this work. Give him that work, King. Tell him about Russell.
Is he going to be scared when
he needs all this? He needs all this.
I will agree, Jimmy, and I want to disagree. I would love to, and as much as I'd love to disagree with you about your Broncos, I agree.
Absolutely.
I think the Seahawks are in for a long day because of the way
double digits, baby.
I've already, and my prediction will come a little later. But I just think you have one side of the field and down the middle of the field taken care of. But now you have another side of the field. You can line up and say, I want to put 2 tight ends and 2 receivers and a tight end on one side of the field and just flood the zones. And you go in these you flood the zones, you stack the receivers, you bunch the receivers. How do you stop them? You can't press.
Stack and bunch, baby. Stack and bunch.
I think the biggest point is that even if you contain the Broncos, like even if the Seahawks do a good job against the Broncos offense, they're still probably going to score 24 points at least.
Containing them is about 24.
If you load up the box, Peyton's going to go downfield.
And that's the thing. Do you think Seattle's going to score 24 points?
Seattle's going to score? That's my point right there, Frank.
Right.
Talk to him, Frank.
Even if you contain them, they're still scoring at least 24 points. And I don't think the Seahawks can score 24 points in a Super Bowl with Russell Wilson at quarterback right now, the way he's playing.
Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Russell Wilson. I think that he'll be okay in the long term. But is he ready yet? I mean, it was a second year.
Second-year quarterback.
It's a second-year quarterback. Let's keep it a beam. But the moment seemed to be getting big. Like in the NFC Championship, he was shook.
Yeah,
I mean, they won despite that.
They won that. They won that because they got that. They paid that bread to Colin Kaepernick, and Cap was like, "Yo."
They won that game because Navarro Bowman decided to. They didn't give him the fumble, and when you're not giving teams possessions, that hurts, especially when you score the right around.
But Fred, that's the same thing. Kaepernick was giving up possessions.
Yeah.
And plus, especially when Patrick Willis was getting ran over all game. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
I gotta bring up old
You
stuff.
would say that to his face.
I also think run his ass over.
The one question I want to ask Seattle is who's Russell Wilson throwing to? Because
Doug Baldwin,
Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, Golden Tate, and a very
Hills, yo.
Badly hurt Percy Harvin.
Yo, Kearse ain't bad though.
Kearse is yes, he is a good player.
Kearse got
he's a good fourth receiver. He's a good fourth receiver.
But who are they going up against? You got a guy in Champ Bailey who's going to take away your best receiver.
They're missing some weapons.
You got Chris Harris coming back. You get DRC on one side. So who are you going to really throw to? Because those three guys are going to lock down your best three receivers.
I think Denver's secondary is underrated, and I can't prove it by
the
numbers. But I think they're a little underrated, and I think Champ is going to do whatever he has to do to
Champ
beat Champ.
Wants that ring to
still have Champ Bailey, and even though he hasn't played at his level,
he's going to take that shot.
This is his only shot.
Champion, let's keep it real, though. No, I'm going to keep it real again.
He hasn't played at his level.
Terrible the last 2 years.
But this is his shot.
If sell out for one game, this is his mom's spaghetti moment. If you're going to sell out for anything, this is your moment. You know what I mean? Opportunity knocks, and it's right here. Champ, sell out, and you got to ball out right here, Champ.
You got to get those Bailey by Dre pregame.
Champ Bailey got to play Eminem songs all before the game.
The
whole day.
I think
if you get one shot.
Russell Wilson's one saving
grace. Come on,
grace
Champ Bailey, man. Don't let what's the Legion of Boom, or we gonna call them Free World for these purposes. You can't let them do that to you, man. It's your mom's spaghetti moment, Champ.
I actually think the macho-ness of the Legion of Boom might end up working against them. Because they play a lot of man-to-man.
They grab a lot.
I think against the Broncos, with the Broncos, you're going to see a lot of east-west routes being run, and they have the greatest east-west route runner in the league in Wes Welker. So, it's going to be a lot of pick plays. And
the greatest east-west route runner.
the Broncos
he just
don't
created
like
a
to call
belt
them
for
picks.
him.
They don't like to call them picks, but the Broncos.
Yeah, he just gave him a belt.
They're rubs.
They rub a lot.
It's like a boxing belt.
Pause.
He just made up a belt. The greatest east-west route runner.
That was like one of those people where like everybody's a winner, everybody gets a trophy. Like he had to get the
greatest.
Despise those people.
The one question I was going to have for Richard Sherman is now that he's
my whole life is to spite those people.
Richard Sherman has done a lot of talking these last couple of days, and now he has to actually come out and really produce. Because if he goes out there and he gets burned a couple times, and it's not like he's going to be able to just put his hands in the Demaryius Thomas and I don't see
it. Fred,
I'm not worried about him. He's going to show up. He's going to show up.
He's going to show up. I don't have to test or shit on Sherman to get a victory. If I'm Denver and if I'm Peyton, I don't even have to test that water because I have so many other weapons to throw at him. But let's not
do that all the time.
Let's not
do that all the time because.
Let's not poop on Demaryius Thomas though. Frank, Demaryius Thomas is a grown ass gorilla playing wide receiver.
And Demaryius Thomas is really one of the most important players on this team because he takes the back seat a lot because teams do focus on him. And there's a lot of times where Demaryius will go a whole half without a catch. It doesn't affect him because he knows that the defense is focusing on him and they need to go to the other side of the field.
Eventually they're going to roll the coverage the other way.
And that's a big thing. You know what I mean? In this era.
Go ahead, Frank.
In this era of wide receivers, that's a big thing. I mean, not a lot of wide receivers would be able to put up with that and not say, "I need the ball. You need to, make sure you're throwing it to me 5 times a half."
Why don't you just say it, man? I was just about to say, why you don't just say Dez Bryant name, man? Just go ahead. It's not like you're gonna go see the man.
Demaryius is gonna have a big
love me some me.
He's
I don't want to make Dez cry.
Demaryius Thomas is playing because he's trying to get a presidential pardon, so he's going to go out there and play his heart out. Shout out to Demaryius Thomas.
Shout out to Demaryius Thomas's mom and grandma, man. Hold it down. Watch the TV in the day room.
I call my grandma. All right.
Yo, y'all out of control.
The one guy no one really
mentioned. This show out of control, man.
The one guy
shots for everyone
actually mentioned was Julius Thomas, and I think that's going to be the X factor in this game. I don't think Cam Chancellor can. I really don't think anyone can. I really think that you're going to have Earl Thomas out there covering your
what's the difference? What's the difference between that's true. What's the difference between Julius Thomas and Vernon Davis other than the fact that one lives an alternative lifestyle in San Francisco? I mean, I'm talking about them on the field. On the field, what is the difference between
if you want,
Julius Thomas is he's a bit.
If you really want to nitpick, if you just really want to nitpick, Vernon Davis is a better blocker. If you just really want to nitpick it.
Yo, I mean, I don't think Julius Thomas is. I don't think he's as athletic as Vernon Davis.
Yo, he's also. Let's keep it real too.
Not the
he's
same
a
kind
blocker.
of athlete. He's not as fast as him.
He's not terrible, but if you want to really nitpick it, Vernon is a better.
No, he is a terrible blocker, Fred. Fred, he's a terrible blocker, yo. He misses all kinds of blocks.
Who, Vernon?
No, Julius.
Julius Thomas is not a good blocker. No,
he's terrible at blocker, but I mean he's also a young player too, so
this is only his third year in the league, so he has time to
third. He can get it together.
Vernon Davis didn't.
That was the emphasis
until the Mike Singletary days.
That was the emphasis of all the scouts when he was out. They were saying, they're going to lose, they're going to lose what he brings, but they said they're going to have much better blocking up front.
Yeah, Jacob Tammany is a better blocker, and Joel Drees is a better blocker.
He can't block. He can't block you, Austin.
But at the tight end position, how many tight ends in the league can block still? I mean, the great tight end, Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's a big body wide receiver. All of the tight ends.
I've never seen Jimmy Graham block before though.
Yeah,
I've only seen Jimmy Graham block one time. It was in college, and he got blown up. That's the last time he blocked.
That's the last time he do a block.
You don't have to block.
And that was in basketball.
I ain't about that blocking life.
Yo, Jimmy Graham's got that in his contract. He's like, I ain't blocking shit.
Jimmy Graham right now. The one question they're gonna have is he when it comes down to free agency, is he a wide receiver or a tight end? So yeah, and that's just totally off the sub. And we can talk about it another day.
Yeah, he's actually asking for wide receiver money. And they're like, you're a tight end. He's like, no, I'm not.
I brought up Julius Thomas because it seems as though he does specialize in deboing tight ends. Like he takes their lunch money. And so how's that? Well, what he does to Vernon Davis, I'll say he takes Vernon Davis's lunch money. But
hold up, you said Julius Thomas? No,
I meant Cam Chancellor on tight ends.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
because you had us all confused for a minute. I'm like,
I got relaxed. Get
off the drink, man. Get off the drink.
No, that ain't drink. That ain't drink.
No, that's called CTE. That's CTE.
CTE, brother.
He about to sue the league.
Smoking that waxy Gordon over there. Anyway, man.
So, predictions. We're gonna start with you, B. Austin. What's your prediction for Super Bowl 48?
Julius Thomas shuts down a tight end.
The Spaniard, I'm all in with the Manning family, man.
Okay, so that's one for the Broncos. Frank, who you got? Seahawks, Broncos.
It's the year of the Omaha. That's all I gotta say. Omaha, Fat Man Scoop, K-Slay, Funk Flex. Let's get it. Omaha.
Fred, Broncos, Seattle.
I want in my head. I love the great scenario of Peyton Manning. Man, fuck it. 31-21. Broncos. 31-21.
We kind of already know how you feel.
Man, you already know who I'm picking.
Not even because of your fandom, but we know how you feel about
No, just
what's going on the other side of the ball
also,
for Seattle.
This is true. That I'm telling you, that's it. But also, the superstar of this game becomes a household name. Is my man
Pot Roast.
Pot Roast is the next. He's the new Warren Sapp right now, man.
Funny thing is though,
he's gonna have those chunky soup commercials in a hot minute.
A couple of you guys named your X factors in this game earlier. I think Frank said Moreno. Fred said
Julius Thomas.
Yo, Ron Jaworski actually said that Pot Roast will be the X factor in this game.
Yo, because when he plays well, if you watch us play this season, when he actually gets off, like our run defense becomes the difference. And against a team like Seattle, where we know they're going to try to run the ball, like
it's his time.
Pot Roast, man.
You know what?
It's his time, man. This when he get them big checks. You show your ass in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like you said, get the chunky soup commercial.
If he could ball out, and next season when Vickerson comes back, y'all front. Ooh, man.
I had a 10, and I actually I watched the AFC
and Von Miller.
He overrated.
Yes, the one thing Von Miller is not in this game. So thank you to Von Miller for helping out the Seahawks, and I don't know how much it will.
Smith-Miller gang.
I had a chance to go back and watch that AFC title game. It hurt every time I watched it 3 times, and that's the one guy I came away looking at saying that guy gives it 100% every game. That guy's gonna get some big checks.
Pot Roast, man. It's time for Pot Roast to get him a Disney commercial, man. Let's
Fred,
go.
Fred, did you finally solve the mystery that Matt Schaub was actually at quarterback for the Patriots that week.
Matty
Let's go,
I was trying to be nice.
So Jimmy, you double digits?
Double digits, baby. I got it. Like I say, 41 to like.
Whoa! Woo! Yo,
41.
Jimmy, hold on.
We haven't had a blowout like that since the 49ers.
Hold on. That's your fandom speaking.
No, I really think the game's gonna get out of control, man.
You disrespecting their defense like that?
I was nice enough to give it a 10-point game.
I'm telling you, B, like,
this guy's saying it's gonna be a 3 score.
They're gonna have a couple 3 and outs, and it's gonna get out of control, man.
Yo, I got it
41-20.
I got it 26. I got it
21-20.
I got it 27 to 16. I can't disrespect them like that, man.
I don't got a final score, but I definitely don't got 41. Tell you that much.
41. Let's go.
No, Jimmy's fandom. This is the fan, Jimmy.
Listen. I think that Seattle's defense is going to give it all they have, but I do think that it's going to come back on Seattle's offense not producing the way that they should. That's going to, it's going to help the Broncos out tremendously.
Russell Wilson has to make the throws.
No, but the unit that we're not talking about because they're not highly touted. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about Denver's defense. I think they're going to step up and do their job, which I don't know if it's going to be a bunch of 3 and outs, but I don't think the Seahawks are going to be able to control the ball like we all think that they would or think that they could. I don't think they're going to control the ball that well, and if they get a deficit early, there's no way I see them coming back. I think Peyton Manning, he claims that he doesn't listen to the pundits, and I agree to some extent that his legacy is set. Because when people speak about him, they act like he hasn't won a Super Bowl. But you can say what you want.
That is weird, though.
Yeah, but you can say what you want. I still think he's listening to the people, so I'm thinking this man is going to come out with his offense, and they're going to try to play as close to a perfect game as they possibly can. It's not going to be possible against the #1 defense in the NFL, but I just don't see him making the mistakes that he made against the Saints. I got Denver by 12 in this one.
And also Frank brought up a great point because Seattle is #1 against the pass by far, but against the run, they're not even in the top 5. They have struggled against the run. I mean, they really have.
So if they call a couple of those Montana Fat Mans and
the Montana Fat
shotgun draw,
give him that Fat Man scoop, it's over.
DJ Drama, Who Kid, they call a couple of them. Like that's what I'm saying. If their offense, listen, the only way Seattle could win this game, to me, in my opinion, is if Russell Wilson comes out.
Plays out of his mind, yeah.
If he plays out of his mind and has like a historic, make my legend performance type thing. If he does that, then
what are the odds
trouble?
Of that, but especially how bad he's struggling.
And that's my point. That's my point.
If a system moves into the area and there's a blizzard by Sunday, then all bets are off. I might change my mind.
But you know what?
Then it's beast mode time. It's beast mode and defense.
Even then, I'm still not. I don't think even if it was a little snow. Even if it's a lot of snow, how often do you want to bet against Peyton Manning, especially with the running game? Because you have the threat of Peyton Manning
active snowstorm.
Okay, if
and I'm saying this, I haven't even. It's not in the forecast, but I'm saying if by chance there was an active snowstorm, then that turns into the No Shine Moreno versus Beast Mode show. Who you betting on? Who you betting on in the No Shine Moreno?
I still might because you have.
Fred, I'm about that action, boss.
Pot roast.
I still believe that with Peyton Manning, you have a guy that you know can throw the football. Russell Wilson, I don't trust Russell Wilson throwing the football.
That's a great point. If you set it in Russell Wilson's lap, they're designed to win with Russell Wilson throwing like 15 times.
Exactly. Honestly, they've given Russell Wilson the Tim Tebow treatment.
Now you're going too far.
We win in spite of you. No. We give you 10 to
No, you're tripping, Fred. Don't do that.
It's not.
Do that.
We limit your throws.
Don't do that.
You run the football. And if you don't want to call it Tim Tebow, if you don't want to be as bad as Tim Tebow, you call it Mark Sanchez. We don't give you a lot of throws. Don't lose us the game.
No, we understand what you're saying, but what happens if you fall behind now? If you fall behind,
then you might as well just say the winners of Super Bowl 48 are the Broncos.
playing against an offense that put up historical numbers. So the thing is, you're going to have to score. And that's my whole point. My whole point is, as good as your defense is, you're going to have to score.
Exactly.
Because
the defense. This is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense from 2000.
That's true. That's
this
true.
made-up scenario that I just created about the active
I know we're talking about his made-up scenario. Like,
I actually think Russell Wilson was shot in that scenario. The way he plays quarterback.
Well, we're never going to find that out.
We're not. I think it's
Doug,
going to be.
Have you seen the weather lately?
I think it'll be in the middle. It'll be more in the middle.
Don't be so sure. Have you seen the weather lately?
Yo, I don't care about them 3 inches in Atlanta.
Open the window. Show everybody the snow outside.
It's 70 and well, it's been.
Yo, I'm gonna come here.
I'm talking to B. Austin. I'm telling him to open his window. He's sitting.
I'm gonna come here Super Bowl morning, and Dev's gonna be back there with like the whole forecast with the whole map talking about.
Talking about this surprise system that's coming in.
What if it's a tornado? Like, yeah, come on, man. Bottom line is, it's all about hot road.
Just wind. You guys spoke about wind earlier, and Peyton Manning, even when he's playing in 60-degree weather now, it looks like his balls are hitting a wall of wind.
He's never had the best spiral ever. I won't say.
No, he did. And then, before the surgery, Peyton's spiral was nowhere near as bad as it is. He throws some duck stuff.
Yeah. So now they look like they hit a wall of wind when there's no wind in the stadium.
Yeah. And they're still accurate.
Peyton is some ducks. And you mentioned a good thing too.
Accurate ducks.
The one thing I will say, with Peyton, you have
the most accurate east-west. He's the most accurate east-west duck thrower in the league.
with Peyton Manning, you have that effect of like a Jim Harbaugh, a John Harbaugh, a Bill Belichick, all guys like that. That you give them 2 weeks, you might as well forget it because they're gonna break you down to a point that they know everything you're gonna do before you do it.
What do you think Seattle's defensive coordinator is doing in terms of analyzing Peyton? What's he going to come up with? What are we going to see?
Pressure.
You're going to have to pressure. But
no matter how great a quarterback is, and we've seen some of the greatest play, how they always get beat is somebody start beating their ass up. Like Tom Brady against the Giants.
Like Tom Brady against the Giants?
Yeah. Right.
They were destroying Brady. Like after the snap,
they were hitting
over
the snap.
Hit him late. Yeah. But that's
Peyton gets the ball out a lot quicker than many think, and they actually have a top. I actually saw a stat today. They
can't afford to take a hit.
The Broncos snapped the ball almost. They snapped the ball every 33 seconds, equivalent to almost like an Oregon offense because they get to the line so quickly. Peyton Manning, you get all entranced in the fat man and the Omahas and all that. Peyton Manning, those are dummy calls a lot of the time.
We haven't talked about Denver's line. And I want to take the time to shout them out because I think that Denver's line is also their
shout out to Orlando Franklin from
the Latin Kings, man.
Yeah, the O line is underrated. They do a great job of protecting, dude. And he has actually sat them down. I know this to be fact. He sat them down and said, guys, just give me 2.5 seconds. That's all. I don't need no. I'm not a black quarterback. I don't need 4 seconds.
Damn! Get inside of here because B. Austin.
Why did you just say
his CTE is kicking in?
B. Austin. But he has some merit to that. There is some merit to that.
No, man, come on, man. Yo, gotta chill, man.
Yo, it's time to go.
There is some merit to that.
Black History Month, man. Stop it.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet.
Stop muting people, man. On that note, we're gonna, as usual, we're gonna ask everybody there to join in the conversation with us. We want you, first of all, to subscribe to the page first. That's the first thing. Then we want you to click the like button on this particular video. Then we want you to go into the comment section and leave your opinions. Give us your predictions on the game. Give us your keys to the game. Don't address what these brothers just brought up, late in the show. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that right now.
My thoughts are my
own.
own.
About Super Bowl 48. We're going to talk about Super Bowl 48 and what you guys think about it. So make sure you leave those comments and get into this conversation with us. All right, everybody. The big game is here. This is what we've been waiting all season for. On behalf of all these knuckleheads down here, B. Austin, Frank, Fred, Jimmy, I'm Devin. This has been another edition of Field Vision, brought to you, of course, by War Room Sports in conjunction with Sports Kings. Look, don't accept mediocrity. and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
We'll see you chumps on top.
Bet you also wouldn't say that to Nat Turner.
War room is a religion.
Wait, it's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.